Lola and Dare stared at their newborn baby. They looked at each other and knew they had the same thought. This son of theirs was not what they expected. As influencers, they had made plans that once their child was born, he would be a star. They would film and capture every moment of his life. But it looks like they would have to prep him before he became a star. You see, the newborn named Daniel was not as cute or chubby as they hoped. Since viewers loved cute and adorable children, they feared their plans would not work. Lola, being the brains of the operation, said, "Why not feed the boy weight gaining food, which will make him bring out his baby fat? He would probably lose the weight after a few years." And so they fed and fed the young unsuspecting child. This they did on camera and showed it to the whole world. Because why not? Showing how to make your baby cute and chubby apparently sold, and people came and marveled at the way they fattened up their child. Advertisers came and poured money into their channel. After all, they were the ones that wanted it. Baby Daniel became popular, his cute, chubby face plastered on every social media site, legal and illegal, as he ate and ate and ate. People then started to request certain videos of the boy eating, and his parents were happy to oblige. After all, Dari said, the customer is always right. They had filmed Daniel in the tub, getting dressed, using the restroom, you name it. Everything the boy did was on screen. But the ones that had millions of views and shares were the videos of him eating and in the bathtub. Lola and Daniel quickly took notice of this and decided that their son was going to be the youngest mukbang star. Some people online, of course, complained about the lewd behavior and the things the parents were doing to their children. But with a click of a button, they were either deleted or blocked. At the age of 2, Daniel, in his unsuspecting childhood, thought his parents loved him since they gave him what he wanted. At age 6, he was curious as to what a camera was and why his parents would ask him to eat so much food. He didn't like most of the food they gave him, but they would look at him and say, "Eat a little bit more, eat a little bit more." Daniel at age 8 was bigger than every child he knew, so he went to his parents and told them that he didn't want to eat so much food anymore, nor did he want to keep eating in front of the camera. His mother, of course, was livid. She walked slowly towards him and hit him across the face, then said in the most silent voice, "Do you think everything you have comes for free? No, it doesn't. In this world, you work for everything. People who would not work will not eat. You should be grateful we give you a great lifestyle. Without us, how will you survive? Now go to your room and get ready to fail." Daniel turned to go to his room, tears streaming down his eyes. All he wanted was to be normal, and now he never would be. If you're enjoying the story so far, please make sure to subscribe and like the video. Omolara loved having a grandson for the holiday. She had been worried about the boy since his parents started sharing his life on the internet. She tried to dissuade them, but they told her in every word to go to hell. She didn't understand how her own son could watch his son get bigger and bigger. The boy couldn't walk for more than 5 minutes without panting. She came to the conclusion they didn't care about the boy. They saw him as a money making machine. She noticed Daniel looked sadder each day when he came to her place for the holiday. He cried and refused to eat. The boy looked at food with disdain and ate. She had talked to her son about letting her raise her grandson. This way, they could continue their influencer lifestyle without bringing the boy into it. But all she got was a resounding no. "Daniel, hurry up and get in the car," Lola screamed. "We are going to be late and you have to shoot a video for tomorrow." Daniel hugged his grandmother and said his goodbyes. Darius sat in the car listening to all this, but he could care less. He was tipsy, but he didn't dare tell his wife. He tried to keep his eyes peeled on the road as he was driving, but the moment the sun shone in his eye, he swerved off the road into a ditch. Daniel, in the process, was thrown out of the vehicle, but instead of falling over the cliff, he hung onto a tree that sprouted out of a rock. He held on, calling out to his mom and dad. When Lola and Dare saw their son hanging on to their life, they reached down to pull him up, but the boy was too heavy. After attempts to pull the boy up, Lola said in a frustrated voice, "You are too big. Climb up here yourself. We can't pull you up." Daniel cried in return, "Dad, Mom, help me. I can't climb up." The tree was weakening under the weight of the boy. Dari reached down to help his son, but gave up immediately and said, "You have to climb up yourself. You are too fat to pull up." Daniel looked up at the faces of the people who gave birth to him. At a young age, he saw wickedness, betrayal, and selfishness standing before him. Then the tree gave out, and both Daniel and the tree went down the cliff. Lola and Dari both looked distraught at the scene before them. They called for their son, but they got no answer. They called the police and narrated the ordeal to them. The police concluded that the cliff was unsearchable because it was too steep, but they were going to still try their best. Lola and Dari turned their son's disappearance into a spectacle. After all, one man's misery was another man's opportunity. They made sure to milk every bit and pieces of it. They put out GoFundMe to fund the search for the boy, and people paid them thousands and thousands of dollars. After all, whose heart wouldn't tug at a missing child? The videos of Daniel went even more viral than his parents thought possible. Lola turned to her husband because she had one of her so called great ideas. She said, "Why don't we stop looking for Daniel? After all, the police did say it was impossible for him to have survived the fall. Won't it be a waste if we spend all this money on a dead boy? And even if we find him, people will stop giving us money and would have spent all this money on finding him. We can always have another child, and we can always make this child a star." Darry thought for a second, and he thought to himself that his wife's reasonings were solid. They were already bleeding money. What was the point of pouring money on a child who was suspected to have died? Darry's mother stood at the door. She couldn't believe these animals in the forms of a human being. Were they really going to capitalize on their child's death? The way they spoke of him was as if a dog had died. She couldn't believe she had raised this horrible human being, and like every mother, she began to wonder where she went wrong, but decided that this wasn't the time for a self pity party, but it was time for her to step up for her grandson's sake. So she took out her phone, and with a quick efficiency, she found her camera and recorded every word of their discussion. Then came the hard part, which was learning how to video herself and, of course, gathering the strength to do so. She had to do it quick before her son and daughter in law pronounced her grandson dead to the world. The boy could be waiting for them to rescue him. It had been 2 months now since he fell, but she had hope. Also, these animals had to be stopped. And so, light, camera, and action. With the help of her neighbor's teenage son, she was able to put the truth before the world. The recorded video of them talking about their plans was the gas that stoked the fire. And when people get angry online, they come with a full force. People were enraged with the fact that the boy's parents had tried to make use of him in such a way. But some of them also realized they had encouraged them to put Daniel online and watch the boy be abused and traumatized with the excuse of entertainment. When the police got wind of this, they sprung into action. These so called influencers had scammed people for profit. No wonder they called off the search last week. Fortunately, they had a lead on the boy. An hospital called and told them they had a boy that matched the description of Daniel 3 days ago. They were just about to verify the information before his parents called off the search. When Daniel's grandmother heard of the news, she rushed to his side at the hospital. She was told he was barely breathing when those hikers had found him, and he had been in a coma since. Her son and daughter in law were up to their throats in problem, which gave her the chance to look after her grandson, who woke up a few weeks after she cared for him. I guess all the boy needed was someone who truly loved him and cared for him at his side. Lola and Dare are currently facing charges for abuse of a child, distribution of inappropriate content, and of course, fraud. The end. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video.